Hey guys, so if you follow me on social media, which means basically Twitter and Instagram, then you may have gotten to choose the products that I'm going to use today, or the main product that I'm going to use. I had asked on Instagram and Twitter which one of the Maybelline lip kits you wanted me to use today, because I went back yesterday and bought all the other shades, so the sky was the limit basically. And I got one vote for Untamed and I got one vote for Provoked. Those are the two answers that came in after I tweeted and before I started filming right now. So I'm going to do Untamed today, which looks like this. And then I'll do Provoked the next time so that you'll get to see that. Provoked seemed to be the best selling of all the lip kits because there was one left on the shelf when I went to buy it yesterday. And that's the Nude one, and that doesn't surprise me that the Nude one was the most popular because, you know, most people do love nude lipsticks. But the one I'm going to do today is Untamed, and this is probably the wildest one of all, and it is a black lipstick. And the powder is kind of like a pewter almost, because it's like a dark gray, but it has gold in it. So yeah, this is going to be wild. And then that's the effect that you get from it. So in yesterday's video, I was talking about how I like to use these on my eyes too, and I had one of them on my eyes as well before I did the lip portion. So I'm going to do that again today. I'm going to do my eyes with this kit and my lips. And I'm going to do some of the other products at the same time, and then I'll try to, you know, edit out some of the footage so that it won't be 2 hours long. I already put my Burt's Bees lip balm on, and the next step is normally my face primer, which is Hard Candy Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. This has very, very little left in it. That's how much is left. You know, it's not even, this thing that's sticking down below the plastic hair is just another piece of plastic. So it's down to nothing. I love this primer, and if I didn't have a whole drawer full of primers, I would go out and repurchase it, definitely. I'm going to use this IT Cosmetics blurring brush from Ulta to apply it. So I just put the brush right in the primer and do it that way. Actually, I wouldn't have any choice now because it's so far down that I wouldn't be able to apply it like directly from the stick anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It has a cooling effect, and every foundation that I've ever put over this applies beautifully. I finished my Fenty Beauty foundation. And for me to finish anything is a very big deal. And again, you know, I would repurchase that, except for I've got a whole drawer full of foundation, so rather than be wasteful, I just moved on to something else. And what I've moved on to is the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup. And then it says Healthy Glow with Vitamin Complex and Cranberry Water. My shade is number 20 Fresh Nude, and I like this makeup. The only thing that's really strange about it, I'm just shaking up the bottle here. The only thing that's really strange about it is it doesn't set no matter how long you leave it on. So what I do is I set it with a powder. And my skin is pretty dry, so for a foundation not to set is very unusual. So I don't really mind that because I like to use powder on top of my foundation, but normally I can't because my skin is so dry. But this sort of requires it, I guess you could say. So I'm just using that same brush that I used to apply my primer and just putting one pump on my face. You do have to make sure you blend this really well, because if you try to go too fast or use too much, you will see some areas that are not completely blended. Speaking of foundations, Makeup Revolution is supposed to be releasing their stick foundation in the United States. I believe today, don't quote me on that, but I read that somewhere, that April 24th it was being released. I checked the Ulta website this morning and it hadn't been posted on there, but that was really early. But just wanted to give you a heads up if you're interested in trying that it's supposed to be out soon. I really would like to try that. I haven't had a stick foundation in quite a while. So what made me think of that to tell you is I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in C1 right now. And all I do is I just take one dip worth and just go right across that indentation in my face, like that. Take that same foundation brush that I use for the primer and foundation and blend it in. Then I go up over my eyes. And that's going to be like my first layer for my eye products. And that's just going to cancel out any redness or discoloration in the eye area as well. And I am fully aware that you can still see the black circles, especially on this side. But it's a combination of allergies, aging. The only way to get rid of that would be to get fillers, and no. Okay, so concealer is done. So then the next thing I'm going to do is set everything. And I've been reaching for the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. And this is the one that it says translucent extra coverage. Does anybody else love the smell of this? Oh man, this product has been around forever. It's, I think, one of the very first products that was ever in existence for makeup. And to apply that, I'm just going to use an e.l.f. powder brush. So I dump some in the cap and then take a little bit of it and swirl it with the brush and then tap it. Yeah, it's been so nice to be able to use powder again. And if it wasn't for this foundation, I would not be able to. My skin is just too dry. But this foundation creates like a barrier between myself and the powder. And I've been doing this several days now. Maybe over a week, I think, even. And I haven't had any issues with my skin getting too dry or anything. So I just keep dipping back in and tapping the excess off. And this does really give you extra coverage too if you get this one. So it helps your foundation a little bit and gives you more of a flawless look. So then I just try to tap that back into the container without making a mess all over my table here. Okay, so the next step is contour, and you know I love the Jordana Sculpt and Go Creamy Contour Stick. The only place I've ever seen this is Walgreens, so if you've been looking for it, if you're not at Walgreens, you most likely will not find it. So I'm just going to go right about there, and then go up and out, and then blend it with, what else? The foundation brush. The reason why I keep reaching for the same brushes is because I find that when it has the foundation coated on there, it just makes everything blend that much easier. So right about there is where I start. If you start with a clean, dry brush, it's not going to blend as well. But just know this, that I do deep clean my brushes every day. So when I started with this brush, it hadn't been used yesterday. It's cleaned thoroughly every day. Okay, contour is on. I'm going to use a blush that I haven't used in a really long time. This is MAC Pink Swoon. And let's see. I thought I had a brush in front of me for blush, but did not. Okay, this is a BH Cosmetics 125 brush. This was part of a kit that I had bought at Urban Outfitters one time, and I do really like these brushes. Right, the next step was the eyes, and the reason why I say was is I had every intention of doing this on camera, but this ended up being a nightmare using these colors on my eyes. And anytime you're working with a black base, it can be difficult, and I can't say that I would recommend using this kit on your eyes, because working with a black base is difficult. But the powder color that I put on top, I feel like it's too dark for my skin tone. Maybe if you have a deeper skin tone than me, maybe this would have been easier, but it's just a bit too dark. And I had to really play around with it to get it to look halfway decent. I took MAC Soft Brown. Let me just take that out. I took MAC Soft Brown and blended that into the crease along with a little bit of the black, kind of merged it together a little bit, and that seemed to help the transition of it. But yeah, that's a really, really tough one to do on the eyes. I wouldn't recommend it. So let's see if we get anywhere with the lips. I have a feeling that this is probably not going to be a good color scheme for my skin tone on my lips either, but we'll try it. So I'm going to use the NYX lip primer. Oh, and by the way, I used the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion underneath the eye products. And I used the lip kit as eyeshadows and eyeliner. And then I just put on Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. You know what? I forgot to do my brows. So let me do those first off camera. Then come back and do the lips, because otherwise it's going to look strange with the brows not done. Okay, so brows are done. So I already put the lip primer on, so now we're going to go in with that lip kit. I am scared. All right, I'm going to try I'm going to try using this Rite Aid Renewal brush, but see how it's got like a flat edge to it? So I'm going to try outlining my lips with that. Ooh, that's working really well. Yeah, these types of eyeliner brushes are not always easy to find. I thought it might make it easier if I just outline the lips first. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to take a Real Techniques lip brush and start filling them in. And this is going to be a long process, so I'll cut this part out and come back. Okay, this is a tough one to work with. As I was applying it, it was almost like sometimes when I was trying to apply more, I'd feel like it was wiping away what I had already put down. So this black lipstick is pretty difficult to work with. And based on my experience with it on my eyes and my lips, I'm not sure I could recommend this particular kit. The other kits that I've worked with so far, though, I did really enjoy them. Alright, so that's just with the black lipstick, and now let's pat some of that powder on top and see how that looks. So I'm just swirling my finger in the powder. Well, you can see it, but it doesn't really show up that well. Probably because it's such a dark color. Yeah, that doesn't really show up that well. Now, I'm wondering what would happen if I changed the lighting in the room. Let's change the lighting just to see with different lighting what it looks like. Okay, so I added some more light to the room. And now that I've done that, you can see the powder a little bit better. I don't think I'm a fan of this look. It's very like goth and fun, and maybe would be good for Halloween, but I don't feel like I can really make this work. But you know, it depends on the person and their attitude, their lifestyle, their yeah. This is not a favorite of mine. But I did want to come on and do it so that you could see what it was like. So I think that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.